Tupo katika mazungumzo, lakini sasa tunaye Poet Locks ambaye anazungumza sana, mdogo, lakini shughuli yake ni kupigania nafasi ya kuendeleza shughuli ya kukuza tabia ya taifa na nchi vile vile. Tusikize kutoka kwake.
So, we are modernizing our globe at the expense of Mother Nature we pretend to love, forgetting that the strange things happening up there will soon rob us of all that we have, including our own lives. Honestly, we need to take action. I have no knee on my neck, yet I still can't breathe well because the atmosphere is totally sick and unwell. We are quickly turning our home into hell even before the apocalyptic judgment passes over where we dwell. Scholars are getting wet with sweat bleeding from our struggles to understand why the books we write on are manufactured from the trees we fight for not to be cut. Please, can anyone tell me why a forest meant for rest, especially for wild animals and rainfall attraction, is daily brought to destruction, irrespective of how hard we try to put our art in action, just to reverse the imminent devastation? Honestly, we are pushing this earth into a grave dug by the brave human acts of greed and environmental oppression. Remember, we'll only be forgiven if with our forgiven limbs, we immediately re-embark on reforestation. A quick question: how do we walk out of a climate summit when we cannot easily sum it that the atmosphere hanging over us is the looming death of our atmosphere? Understand that the unpredictable weather changes are due to the depression tearing Mother Nature's soul from our divine pages. I believe it will be good for us to take a few minutes of action from the minutes we caption in our climate change meetings and save our earth from extinction. And we have to start today, because 2 days of wait might just serve agony in our plates. So let us take action. Cocooning ourselves into factions that only cause racial and tribal tension is not healthy for all generations. Let us urgently run to the hills and valleys, not forgetting the fields bordering our homesteads, and plant millions of trees before we are sandwiched in between the extreme heat that unpredictably alternate with the blood-freezing breeze. Let us take action. Finally, I would like to represent our country in the United Arab Emirates for the Climate Summit. Thank you.
Kazi safi kabisa kutoka kwake Poet Locks, anapeperusha swala zima akizungumzia namna ambayo yanakuwa ni sawa kwake kuhakikisha kwamba tunapata tabia nchi iliyo sawa ambayo inakwenda nasi hata ingawa ni mdogo. Afanya kazi safi kabisa.
Absolutely. At only 13 years old, he is able to paint a clear picture on the importance of fighting for our planet, and we hope you're going to see him in Dubai for the COP28. Good job. Now we continue with our conversation with Mr. Alex Lemarkoko. We were talking about the lifting of the logging ban. What are we going to do to make sure that we protect our forest and our indigenous trees?
Good. Thank you very much. The lifting of the ban has a lot to do with positive results and impacts and effects for this nation. Why? Because we are talking about availing timber to support our industries, to support the government agenda of affordable housing, and also to support value chain, value addition through small-scale industries, small-scale wood industry. As a matter of fact, you are aware that it is now a rule that you are not going to import furniture from any country. We are going to use Kenya's wood. And remember also that by using wood for furniture, basically you are locking carbon in your own house. That carbon which will probably have decomposed in the forest, trees decomposing or burned by fires, or converted into something else by you having a wooden table in your house from Kenya, you are actually locking that carbon in your own house. So, number one, it is supporting industry. Number two, it is creating wealth. for small-scale investors. Number 3, remember that the primary purpose of establishing plantations in our forests is basically to buffer our indigenous forests, is to provide an alternative for wood-based products from exotic species that grow faster and can be managed, so that to avoid Kenyans going for timber or wood-based products from our indigenous forests. As a matter of fact, our plantation species are basically and generally located at the edge of our main forests. So it's basically a buffer. 2, remember also that what we are doing is an issue of self-sufficiency as a country. When a country is not self-sufficient, in case of any problem, any diplomatic hitch, we are going to have a problem accessing the basic needs in the country. So lifting of the ban is positive for this country. Number 2, I will want to call it harvesting of plantations. Logging is somehow, in my opinion, derogatory. It's not good. We harvest plantations that we planted. When you plant a crop, you must harvest it. And you harvest it in a manner through procedures that are outlined in our technical orders, in our felling plans, in our management plans, and in what we call the allowable cut. How much wood can we remove from our forest at any one given time in a sustainable manner that allows us also to grow an equivalent area that has been cut. So it's basically management of our forest plantations on a sustained yield basis.
Tunazungumzie kule Mau Forest na vile vile kile ambacho umezungumza kwamba ni kama tunavuna. Kwa yule ambaye atavuna mapema bila yeye kuelewa na kwamba anaharibu badala yake, utamwambia nini? Na vile vile wale watu ambao wako katika msitu wa Mau.
Tutatofautisha ile miti ambayo tunavuna katika plantation ambayo ni mpangilio ya Kenya Forest Service. Miti inavunwa ikifikia miaka fulani. Mwaka wa 12 tunafanya ile first thinning ambayo tunaondoa ile miti ambayo ni nyembamba ili tubakishe ile miti ambayo ni management. Baada ya miaka 17 kuna second thinning. Baada ya mwaka 21 kuna thinning nyingine. Alafu baada ya miaka 28 ama miaka 30 ndio tunafanya ile clear felling ambayo tunamaliza miti sasa, ili sasa hiyo sehemu inapandwa tena wakati mwingine. Na hiyo ni tofauti na wale ambao wanaingia msitu ya kienyeji na kuangusha miti na kukata kuchonga post ya kujenga manyumba ama kuchoma makaa. Hao wanafanya makosa. Na hiyo ndio ambayo tunasema hatukubali. So tunakataa. Wale ambao wanaingia kufanya mambo kama hayo yanakataliwa. Yeah.
Now we want to continue planting trees even after this holiday is over, but there's need for education because you find there are people in areas sema kama Ukambani where it's more dry, then there are others who have good climatic conditions all through the year. The different types of trees that can grow well in those different areas is something we need to be sensitized on, even the technique of planting the trees in those areas. As someone who wants to continue with the practice, where do I get the sensitization and the knowledge moving forward so that we make sure we are not just planting trees, we're also growing the trees?
Oh, thank you very much. I think we have a lot of ways and means to educate our public. Number 1, we have social media. And if you go to our sites, Kenya Forest Service, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change and Forestry, the State Department of Forestry, we even now have a secretariat dedicated to tree growing and monitoring at the ministry. And we have various institutions that are also engaging. But we also have our officers. We have forest stations, 197 forest stations across the country. And each forest station, there are foresters who will train you, who are available to provide necessary information for the public. We have flyers. We have barazas that are normally organized by the Ngao, in which case we use those opportunities to communicate our messages to members of the public. So we have an array of possible sources of information, and mine is just to ask Kenyans to be alert, because we have all these means, including our extension officers, the county governments also, and various other institutions.
Future yetu ikoje?
Future yetu kama Kenya ni nzuri sana. Kwa sababu namba ya kwanza, rais wetu ako mstari wa mbele katika mambo ya kuhifadhi mazingira, kupanda miti na kupigana na mambo ya mabadiliko ya tabia nchi. So namba ya kwanza, uongozi wetu uko mbele. Ya pili, you can rely on our Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, and more so on Kenya Forest Service. Kenya Forest Service ni institution sasa imebadilika. Tumepata askari ya kutosha. Tumepata foresters ya kutosha. Tumepata support ya kutosha kutoka serikali. Na kuanzia sasa mtaona mabadiliko makubwa sana katika jinsi tunavyo shughulikia mazingira yetu na misitu yetu.
All right. Now speak to the young person who's watching us from back at home and encourage them on the importance of taking part in climate action initiatives at this very point. Advice.
Yes. Advice to the youth. Namba moja. Youth, akina mama, ama women, na local communities. Wale ndio ambao sisi tunafocus sana kwa sababu hao ndio wanahusika katika upanzi wa miti. Ya kwanza, vijana ujishughulishe na mambo ya kuhifadhi mazingira. Kwa sababu mazingira yanapoharibika ni maisha ya vijana baadaye ndio itakuja kuharibika. Ya wazee mambo yao ya maisha. Ya mambo yao yanafikia mwisho. Lakini vijana muko na jukumu ya kufikiria sana. Kwamba ukihusika na mambo ya uharibifu wa mazingira unaharibu mambo yako ya baadaye. Ya pili, kwa mashule ambayo tumeweka mipango ya kupanda miti kwa mashule, tunawahimiza kila mtoto ahusike na mambo ya kujua na kupanda na kutunza na hata kuongea na wazazi wao.
Asante sana Afisa Alex Lemarkoko kwa kuja kwako. Kuna ufahamu mwingi kutoka kwako. Tunasema asante sana, na kwako pia mtazamaji ambaye umefuatilia Kenya's Gold. Tumezungumzia sana leo kuhusiana na upanzi wa mti, na anasema kwamba kila siku ndiyo siku ya kupanda mti. Kazi kwako, lakini kutoka kwangu Emmanuel Terere nasema salia na Mwenyezi Mungu, kumbuka tutatimiza ndoto.
All right, that is all the time that we had for you. Thank you so very much, Mr. Alex Lemarkoko, for making time, and to our viewers back at home for sticking with us every single day of the week. Thank you very much. My parting shot for the day will be the key to a greener planet is in your hands. Tomorrow we meet on our coffee lounge and we dissect the coffee sector. See you tomorrow. My name is Violeta Ngina. Goodbye.
Thank you.